So the Bills were entering 2022 after a heartbreaking divisional playoff loss to the Kansas City Chiefs in that crazy game in the 2021 playoffs. They were entering this past season, as one of the premier Super Bowl favorites, seeking to finally get over the hump. Yes, that hump of not getting to the Super Bowl in over 20 years and making it back to the big game. And to do that, one of the big moves was getting linebacker Von Miller, because one of the problems that the Bills had in that divisional game was not getting to Patrick Mahomes, not getting to the quarterback. So they went out, got a big name for the pass rush, and that was Von Miller, who was just coming off a Super Bowl win with the Los Angeles Rams. So with the bolstered pass rush, and obviously one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL in Josh Allen, the Bills looked poised to right the wrong from the season prior. And they got off to a good start with impressive primetime performances from Josh Allen, the offense. They picked up right where they left off. And that stronger defensive line against, ironically, Von Miller's former team in the Rams and the Tennessee Titans. Miller's presence was exactly felt right out of the gate. He greatly jolted the pass rush in a secondary, despite missing corner Tre'Davious White and lost safety Micah Hyde to a week 2 neck injury for the season. And the offense, remained largely a pretty impressive unit, like I said. However, one of the biggest glaring flaws for the Bills throughout the season was Josh Allen's frequent turnovers. And I feel like either he was trying too hard or the Bills were making him try too hard, which attributed to the Bills' 3 losses of the season against the Dolphins, the Jets, and the Minnesota Vikings. And yeah, they also faced some issues with the running game too, with Den Singletary and James Cook. But eventually they found some ground to hopefully balance out and take out some pressure off of Allen. So he wouldn't run the ball as much, but he still ran it anyway. So after the loss of the Vikings, the Bills would win their final 6 games of the season, and they won their 3rd straight AFC East title by beating on the Chicago Bears. But unfortunately, during that stretch, they lost Von Miller in the Thanksgiving game to a torn ACL. The pass rush again took a noticeable hit. So after they won the AFC East title, they were going into their matchup against the Cincinnati Bengals in pole position to win out the AFC's top seed and home field advantage throughout the playoffs. But unfortunately, we had that scary incident with safety Damar Hamlin having that cardiac arrest. And I'm just very fortunate and very thankful that the Bills and the Bengals came together, and all that emotion, all that craziness, they came together in unity for a fallen player, especially coaches Sean McDermott and Zach Taylor, and decided we're not playing this game. We can't play this game. Like, a player nearly died on the field. And if the NFL wants to say, no, you're playing this game, screw you. We can't. And I'm just very glad that Damar Hamlin is alive and well. He's breathing and he's standing. I'm just hopeful once he's able to play football again. So they had to settle for the 2 seed because of the revised playoff formatting. And in the playoffs, they barely outlasted the Dolphins in that crazy game where Josh Allen's turnovers, it really got to him again. But in the proper matchup against the Cincinnati Bengals in the divisional game where the Bills were the host, the Bills, they were beaten up badly by Cincinnati at home. So even though the Bills had a 13-3 season, won the AFC East division title again, it was not a great end for them. And, sure, I would say it was disappointing and all that, but honestly, I really can't blame them for how really crappy the season ended, how crappy the season went for them. Because by the time you got to the end of the season, especially with how things have gone for them towards the end, you could clearly tell in those last 3 games that they were just not there. They were not emotionally there. because of everything that had gone on during that season. Severe blizzards, the Damar Hamlin situation. They were really hurting emotionally within. They were just too checked out, mentally and emotionally. So yeah, it really sucked for a team that was pegged for a Super Bowl run, and it would have been a really great moment had they made that run, made it all the way, maybe even won it. It would have been a great emotional win for them. But I just say the most important thing is that their teammate, Damar Hamlin, the city of Buffalo, is thriving, and their teammate is alive and well. So looking at the offseason so far for the Bills, they're pretty much it's pretty small moves and pretty much from within moves. Trying to look at how can we get better? How can we try to bounce back from what was a very emotional season? So even though they lost linebacker Tremaine Edmonds to the Bears, and they released receiver Isaiah McKenzie, they did sign former Cowboys guard Connor McGovern to beef up that offensive line, which was kind of a weakness for the Bills because that caused Josh Allen to go out of the pocket more and create those turnovers. So adding Connor McGovern to the offensive line should help things, especially on the interior. They did re-sign Jordan Poyer, so a key part of that Bills defense is staying. So some of the things they still have to address, though, is adding to that offensive line. So they do have to address the center. They do have to address right guard. So the Bills should continue to at least add some depth to that interior offensive line. They should also look for another receiver or two opposite Stephon Diggs and Gabriel Davis. Gabriel Davis didn't have as good of a year as he did in 2021. And yeah, we all know Stephon Diggs is a really good receiver. It's just that he needs help. He needs a lot of help. And at linebacker, you need to find Tremaine Edmonds' replacement in the draft. So overall, yeah, not the season to be for the Bills in 2022, especially on an emotional standpoint. But for Bills Mafia, like I said, the most important thing is that even though you didn't get to the goal in 2022, the teammate in Damar Hamlin is alive and well, and it can always do it again in 2023. Run it back. Hopefully, they'll make it right in the coming fall and win the damn thing.